This is the second video where I teach you how to write good emails through the phenomena of practice. What I have seen on YouTube is that a lot of people are saying a lot of theoretical things. I just wanted to teach you guys in a way that the school used to teach us. If we can remember how a high school teacher used to, you know, engrave so much things inside our brains, which made everything so forcefully learned into our brains, such that we could not even, you know, uh, do anything wrong, because the right things were so engraved into our brains that nothing could go wrong. And in this same manner, I want to teach you how to write good emails so that the rules are so engraved inside your brain that you cannot even intentionally write wrong emails. And that's why I started this series, where through these email marketing games I teach you how to write better emails. Now obviously this is the second video. Oh my god, this is a mess. This is the second video in the series, and I give you 3 emails that follow a structure that follows 5 set of rules, and the email that satisfies the most amount of rules gets the best conversion rates. These are real time conversion rates, and these emails are real emails that are sent through some guy's email marketing sequence that I happen to discover, and all these 3 emails are placed here. Now, if you have not seen the last video, I am not gonna go in depth into the 3 rules. I'm just gonna skimmer around it. The first rule is the subject line impact. You know, if your email do not have a good subject line, it's not gonna get opened. The second rule is the hook. That's the first line after your subject inside your email. If this is not generating the most important emotion in sales funnel, which I taught in the last video, that's curiosity, then your emails would not get read throughout and will result in less conversion rate. Oh my god, in less conversion rates. And the third rule is that your offer should be very clear. Your offer should really emphasize on exactly how you're going to help that prospect. And the fourth rule is the trust factor. Anybody that's entering inside your funnel should really trust you, which in turn gonna help you to convert them into your offer. And the last rule is the most important rule. That's the call to action. If you do not have a very clear call to action and a very bold call to action, your people do not know what to do next after reading your email, and that's going to lead them nowhere. And that is a wasted email list member in your database. You can go through the good examples and the bad ones inside this sticky note. And yes, the main there are some important emotions that you need to hit in your sales funnel, in every headline, VSL, email, any landing page content, everything. Curiosity and urgency is the most important emotion that you need to hit. And with your hook, it should feel natural, it should feel personal. Your market research plays an important role. In my last video, I talked also about a guy whose first 11 seconds of the YouTube video was so good that I couldn't even stop myself nerding about every market research element that he had used in those 11 seconds. With your offer clarity, it should always be a no-brainer offer. Like the James Bond, I'll give you an offer that you cannot say no to. Or it was Godfather, I don't know. It should remove any confusion. It should be clear. It should be a no-brainer offer, and people should feel that they are a stupid person if they're not buying. With your trust factor, you should always show proof, screenshots, your client interviews, your student case studies, everything. And with your call to action, Again, urgency is the most important emotion, and it should be very clear, and it should feel very natural and not salesy, not forceful. You can go through the good examples and the bad ones. I have spent a lot of time creating this Figma board, so please go through all the good and bad examples. Because I talked about everything in my last video, I'm just gonna come to the main project, that's the email. Okay, I'm gonna start with the mediocre email, then I'm gonna get to the best one, then I'm gonna get to the worst one, so you know the difference. Now, the first subject line is stop taking bad trades. Use this rule. There are a lot of email today that are using a lot of sentences in brackets. Like in our last email, one of the guy wrote the $10,000 email formula, steal this. Exactly like this guy has nailed his subject line by using stop taking bad trade, use this rule. Like the rules I'm teaching you in this email, this is a very good subject line. So 5 out of 5 for their subject. Now the hook. Most traders lose money because they ignore this one rule. This creates the sensation of curiosity, and this also creates urgency. How it creates urgency is that if you do not incorporate this one rule, then your next trade will also gonna be a loss. Now, I learned it the hard way until I started applying this simple filter to every trade. This creates curiosity again, and this is the main body of the email. I break it down in this short video, insert the link. This creates the proof, because if the person do not believe him, they can really open this small video and see for themselves. This also is ACTA, because it says here, watch it now and never take a bad trade again. Now, with the hook, we would give them a 5 out of 5, but with the CTA, because the CTA does not provide any urgency in a way that in the next 24 hours I'm gonna make this free guide paid. This would create and this would create a sensation of urgency, and that lacks in this email CTA. That's why this email will get a 4 out of 5 for their CTA. And also because the proof in this email is not directly a student that has given his testimonial, that's why this email will get a 4 out of 5 again for their trust factor, because the trust is there. Obviously you can see that video and learn yourself, and that's the proof that this thing works. But there is no student that have tried this and given an interview explaining how that thing helped, or a written testimonial that is attached to that email. So this email will not get the full marks for their trust factor. That's why it is a mediocre email. This will get very good open rate because the hook and the subject line is very great, but it will not get better conversions because the urgency factor is not there, and the CTA, which is actually linked to the conversion, did not score 5 out of 5. Now, as you can see, I broke down this email's rules. The first subject line is 5 out of 5. Stop taking bad trades. Use this rule, taps into the universal trader's pain point. Yes, it's the trader's pain point, and this is also what the market research treated us with. This rule creates curiosity. Like I told you, the trader wants to know what they might be missing. This is the sensation of FOMO, which is another very important emotion in your sales funnel. This uses a negative hook, stop taking bad trades. This is also a phenomena which breaks the monotony. Like I told you about how today people use random numbers when they are stating how much money they make. Instead of writing directly $10,000, they try to write 11,320 whatever dollars, so that the monotony is broken. In that same manner, here the negative hook breaks the monotony, because everybody is trying to, uplift their students so that they can buy something from them. And in this subject line, the sender tries to bring the student down, and that breaks the monotony. The hook was absolutely perfect, relates to every trader's struggle. Of course, the pain points are satisfied, like the market research suggested us. Most traders lose money because they ignore this one rule: immediate pain point. Like I told you about, my drawing sucks, so bear with it. I learned in the hard way. Builds credibility by showing purpose, by showing personal experience. This is very important. If the person feels that the guy that is being addressed in the email is them, then the prospect connects to the email very much, and they are more intended to buy from that email. Now the offer clarity is obviously very good, because it's just a normal link to your video and it is very clearly stated, and there are high chances that the person click on that link. But if anything, the email is crystal clear, there is no fluff, the benefit is very clear. That is, they stop making losses in their trades. Now the trust factor, like I told you, there are no solid testimonial attached to this email. Like, I have tested this rule on 500 trades, and this is the data for all of those 500 trades. Although this takes the attention away from the email of the person, but something like this attached to your email increases the trust factor. And obviously the call to action is not using the emotion of urgency, which makes it a little weak. Like, watch it now or before your next trade would reinforce that urgency. So I will give this email a solid 3.5 out of 5, because it did not satisfy the last two rules very perfectly, but the first three rules were very good, very nicely satisfied in this email. So 3 out of 5. Although this drawing is a mess, I hope you understood how a mediocre email is written, so that you do not write it again. Now coming to the best email, that is, the first subject line is I made. You see here again, what I used to talk about is the randomness of the numbers, for the randomness in the numbers to show a money figure. I made $3,250 on this trade. Again, a bracket sentence. Screenshot inside gives the sneak peek to the proof element of our rules that the email follows. And this is a very highly refined email. This will bring a lot of conversions. As you can see, it had 35% conversions, and that is a lot of conversions, because 35% might seem very less to you, but in the figures, in the industry of sales funnel, 35% conversion is really big, with 65% open rate. Now open rate obviously were great because of the great subject line, but because the subject line also had a rule fulfilled in the subject, the email was more inclined towards better conversion rates. Hey, this morning I spotted a textbook setup forming at 9:30 a.m. I knew exactly what to do. This creates curiosity, like, whoa, what did that person do? And this also is one of the best starting line, the one of the best hooks that I have seen in a while, and it just hits the right spots with the people. It also connects with this 9:30 a.m. It connects to the general audience that is being addressed to. I entered follow my risk pattern, and within 30 minutes I closed the trade for $3,250 profit. Now people want to know what he did, what was the problem, how he solved it. Every emotion is ignited within the person, and he is very interested in knowing what the full breakdown is. Then he goes ahead by giving the best breakdown line. Here's the full breakdown. Click the link here. Very good CTA. If you struggle with hesitation or bad entries, this breakdown will show you exactly how I time my trades. This gives the best personal attachment that a prospect can have with the person. Like I told you in the last email, there should be a line that should be a personal connect with the prospect to the person sending the email, and this is hitting the pain points as suggested by the market research and just hitting the right spots. If you want more trades like this, I post them daily in my private group. Join here. This gives the FOMO that all the people in the private group are getting these techniques every day, and I'm not getting it, so I have to join this. And this also creates urgency, because if they do not join today, all the other people would um, would take benefit from these techniques. And everyone knows in trading, one person loses money and the other makes money, so they are really stressed about their situation in trading, so they are more inclined to click on this link. As you can see, all of those 5 rules are very nicely satisfied by this email. The subject line generates curiosity, and it gives the proof instantly in the subject line, and the monotony breaking profit and the monotony breaking number, and the screenshot inside gives a reason to open. Obviously that's why this email has 65% open rate. And the hook is absolutely stunning. Immediately engagement by jumping into the real trade story. This creates the best personal connection, uses the specific time, like I told you, 9:30, makes that personal connection even stronger, and creates curiosity, intrigue. What was the setup like? The offer is very clear. He wants to tell you the whole breakdown, and then once you know that this guy is giving you value, then you are more inclined to buy that, then you are more inclined to buy from that person. And this offer clearly tells you that you can have this breakdown, and also if you like your breakdown, you can join, you can have these breakdowns every day for the rest of your life in my group. So join my group. So the offer is very clear, the trust factor is there, because the screenshot is attached with the email of everything that the guy made with that trade. And this also, like I told you in my last video, if you're writing like you're talking to your best friend, then your emails will have the best conversion rates. And this rule is also followed in this email, and this shows a personal experience with the market. And like I told you, if your emails are written like you're sending it to your best friend, then they get the best conversion rates. And the call to action is very clear, clearly tells you to click on that breakdown video or join your private group. And it also creates a subtle urgency that all of the people are getting these techniques every day and I'm not getting it, so I should better ride on the train before it gets too late. Now coming to the worst email, how to win more trades is the worst subject line, or want to make more money with trading, or my or this setup makes me a lot of money every day. This is a better subject line. But want to make more money with trading, I make this much money with trading, my student made this much money with trading, these are all bad subject lines, very salesy. A lot of people have gotten emails like these for years, and the chances are they're not going to open them, and in turn, if they're not going to open them, no one would get converted. The hook is trading is tough, but it doesn't have to be. It obviously does not create any curiosity, because we all know trading is tough, but it doesn't have to be. This would be a 2 out of 5 for the curiosity and the hook. I'm hosting a free training where I'll show you how I find high probability trades every day. Okay, this is a very weak CTA because there is no urgency, and this is a free, and this just sound very unprofessional. if you want to stop second guessing your trades, register here. This is a direct link to registration, and we all know that people do not enter into any sales funnel if the barrier to entry is huge. The reason why everyone have a free thing first and then something that would take them a lot of effort is because people tend to have a lot of resistance when they're entering in a sales funnel, and if this resistance is decreased, then people are more inclined towards getting inside that funnel. Because through a free breakdown, now obviously there's no link to the free training, so I'm guessing there isn't any. And now the offer here is kind of okay but not very great. That is why I'll give it 3 out of 5 with the offer. And there is no proof, no trust factor in this email, so 0 for proof. There is no free there is no free testimonial of anybody. That's why there is no trust factor, so people won't trust this, and that is the reason why it will have 12% conversion rates, because the hook is okay but very salesy, 35% open rate. And like I said, the subject line is very generic, does not create any urgency, any curiosity. The hook is very generic, again does not create any emotion, the urgency emotion, the FOMO emotion, or the curiosity emotion. Nothing is generated while reading this email. The offer is clear. The offer is clear that either watch my free training with no link, of course, so the email is bad. But the offer is clear: either watch my free training or register on this link that I've provided to you. The offer is clear, but there is no trust factor. There is nothing to be there is nothing that is attached to the email that would, build trust with their prospects. And the call to action does not have any urgency. The call to action isn't even very clear, and it has a lot of resistance for the prospect to enter inside the funnel. So as you can see, it is a mess, but this was another way of teaching you how to write better emails. The main purpose of this series is that I teach you how to write better emails, like we used to get taught in school. And a lot of people on YouTube are saying all theoretical things, but I felt like not a lot of people are trying to, make people learn like our school teachers used to make us learn. And with these games, I'll come up with a lot more games. I'm thinking about writing a market research game where I'll give you some data points about a creator's market research, and then you will write some hooks for him and some content ideas for him, and a landing page for him, a lead magnet for him, and an email for him. That would be another game that I'm trying to build. But with this series that I have brought up, I just want you to learn how to, write, how to be better in your sales funnel through these games. And the best way to learn is through playing games, is through practicing. And my whole goal with these games is that you practice what you are learning. So this was my second video on this email marketing game. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments or DM me on Instagram or email me. I've written my email address also in the description. As you know, English is not my first language. I am a little weak with the speaking part of English, so that's why I have a hard time communicating directly to the camera. I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys bear with it. This is gonna be my second video, and I'll see you in my next video. See you around.